What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. Yes, we are finally back for the 5th season of AOR Oceania for season 5. We're here at the Bahrain Grand Prix for round number 2 of the season, which I'll go into more explanation of why it's round number 2 in a second. But here's the driver standings after the Australian Grand Prix. New Zealand ride took the full 25 points ahead of Narms, and Chicane got on the podium as well, all the way down to Brazuca down in position 10. Ferrari currently lead the constructors, 12 points clear of Racing Point. Alfa Romeo got 6 points, and then you got Williams and Mercedes, the other two teams, and then both Haas and Renault are not taking part so far in this season. But first things first, if you haven't seen the driver preview video that I did, I can't remember exactly time frame how long ago it was, but I'll probably leave it at video link of it like at the end of the video. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. That is where you'll be able to see like who's driving where, like who's new, who's returning, all that whatnot. So yeah, you can go check that out and see where your favourite drivers are again. But yes, back again for the 5th season of AOR Oceania. Of course, 3rd in the top tier. We've got a pretty handy field. Well, actually, for this round, we were down a few numbers here. We only had, I think, 13 from the top of my head. It was mainly to there's a couple of guys who were away. I think it was a guy KMP4 and Top Banter were away, and unfortunately for Brazuca, if you haven't watched that preview video, that's Plinio Montero, who's become Brazuca, changed his gamer tag, so he was having a few internet issues. So it was mainly just the 13 of us, which was, yeah, no, it's okay. We'll continue on anyway, but yeah, obviously, well, as you can see the qualifying highlights at the moment, which of course at the moment New Zealand Ryan is currently leading the way at the moment. Yeah, first things, obviously, to clear things up, no, there's not going to be any Australian highlights package from me, basically because I didn't take part, and I'll explain why in a second. But if you want to go check out the live stream from round 1 in Australia, then I urge you to go check out the AOR YouTube channel. As always, it'll be linked down below in the description. I might link the actual video from the first race of the season anyway, so you can go check that one out and see what occurred there. But with both AOR Charlie and VFens, who's come on board on the commentary side of things, and of course Jess, who does the camera work as always. So yeah, basically I was obviously gonna take part in the first round of the season, but fair to say my internet had other ideas. So I'll try and keep it as short as I can. Basically, woke up on Sunday, my internet was down. I'm thinking, okay, no dramas. Usually you just unplug a couple of plugs, like for like 5 minutes or something, and plug them back in. Tried that, didn't work. So I thought maybe I'll try it again, and yeah, still the same thing. And then I thought maybe my internet was out, but yeah, when it came down to the later in the day and nothing had happened, it was occurred to me that maybe the possibility was the internet was out or something else had occurred. But yeah, I unfortunately had to basically pull out of that one because I basically had no internet. So thankfully we got it rectified. There was a few little niggling things there, but I've fixed that issue. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But anyway, we'll have to keep an eye on that one throughout the whole season. But you see here, we're currently on a bit of a flying lap here at the moment. We haven't set a time yet, considering we invalidated the first run, but we do go to position 2 at the current moment, albeit on the soft tyres, the 28.275.
Understood, stopping this lap.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It really wasn't like pushing on, and well, to be honest, I probably made a little bit of a blue here early on because when I was picking the tyre compounds, you know how you like have the the balanced, the softer or the harder tyres.
So far our fastest lap is a 1:28.7.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. I basically picked the balanced tyre set, which is basically, well, you don't get a. I probably should have picked the harder.
Garage, please. Car ready to leave.
The harder compound of tyres, which basically gives you like the hards and the mediums and whatnot. So yeah, but I wasn't planning on like pushing too hard on the soft tyres, because mainly I wanted to just qualify on the mediums, and tyre wear around here is quite a lot. It continues on, even though it was in the last game as well. It's still in this game.
1 minute to go.
In this one as well. So I think majority of us, I think, are going to be on the medium tyres for this quality session. So I'm hoping for maybe a little bit of an improvement here, but I don't know whether I've gone a little bit too quick on the soft tyre run. We'll have to wait and see. Here we go down into turn 1, and just missed the apex there just a little bit here, but we do gain a little bit of time here. But coming out of turn 2, just lose the back end here, and I absolutely just lose all the delta time that I had gained at the first couple of corners there, and then I missed my, I outbraked myself, that's what I'm trying to say. Going down into turn 3, so yeah, it's really ruined my run there. Just got the exit curve there going through turn 7 as well, but I could tell then that this lap wasn't going too crash shot. But Narms is out of qualifying. I think he actually crashed out. You can probably go check it out on the live stream what occurred with Narms. You can see here at this rate of time I was what's the wording, succumbed to the point where I knew that this medium tyre run was going to get nowhere really. His death process provisional pole with a 27.8 I think it was, but we come across the line, we absolutely nowhere on that medium tyre run at the end, so I think we're about like 7 or 10ths of a second, maybe even more at the end of it, as we give the Mercedes of Death Bro just a little bit of a push up the hill there, but still getting a nice bit of XP there for the end of the quali session. So New Zealand Ryan actually does get pole position with a 27.256 on the mediums, even though he did sort of weave across the line. You can check that one on the live stream. Head of RBR and Death Bro. We drop all the way back to position 9. I was hoping to get knocked out, but we're going to have to start on the soft tyres. But we do have company with Conrad and my teammate there in position 7. But it's time to go racing here for round number 2, the Bahrain Grand Prix.
This many cars, there's always a chance of an incident on the first corner. Take care.
That is very true. Welcome to the grid, guys and girls, for the Bahrain Grand Prix under pretty clear night skies. It never rains in Bahrain, to be honest, really. So race strategy-wise, it is saying to go onto the 2-stop, considering we did qualify, well, accidentally on the soft tyres, but yeah, it was a bit hard to get a gauge of what to do here, because, I mean, I was sort of tempted to maybe the previous game you could get away with the 1-stop around here. Even last season I was going to try to do the 1-stop from softs to what was it, to super softs to whatever the tyre was back in those days. It was probably mediums back in those days, but yeah, it was really up in arms here as we're about to set off here on the formation lap here.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So, yeah, it was a bit up and up. So I've decided to go for the 2-stop, but keeping the 1-stop just in case the tyre wear wasn't too bad. As there's Mercedes off the road there on the right-hand side. That was I'm Death Bro. It was actually myself, Matt, and Death. We were all in the same party chat at this time, because I think it was mainly because Top Banter, he said Death Bro's teammate was away, like I mentioned, was away for this one. So, yeah, decided to have him in the party chat. So, and he accidentally spun himself on the formation lap, which I said to him afterwards, like, you get your 30 seconds of fame on my channel, which he has. So, anyway, we're reforming the grid for the. To get this race underway. Conrad was keen to getting back to the grid as quickly as possible there, so not really sure what was going on with him, but You see there, Narms, I forgot to mention as well, he's actually outside in, he probably already heard it, but he's actually outside the 10 in 11th, so he can pretty much choose what tyres he can choose. He can start on, but he's going to be in P2 in the grid. But here we go, 5 red lights. Let's do it around Bahrain. It's a pretty decent start. My teammate's got absolutely nowhere, and he bogged it down off the line there. So we're going to get it around the long way around here. So there's a little bit of lag on my screen. I have to take a bit of avoiding action there. Not sure whether that was just my internet connection or whether the lobby was a little bit all over the shop here. But there has been a few glitches on this game. Obviously, it's the first time I've done a bit of online stuff. Well, mainly league racing. But Conrod got a pretty amazing start. We're going to try and keep it around the outside here. There's a few cars going the inside. Had no choice to get around the outside as we get a little bit of a tag there.
Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
That was all very weird, that one there, to be honest. But, yeah, I wasn't overly too thrilled about that one. It looked like one of the racing points. I nearly said Force India there. Got to get used to saying that in league racing. But possibly may have been Poms for the win. I'm not entirely too sure there, but I think by the looks of things, the Red Bull ahead of Narms, who probably was mumbling my lines a little bit earlier on. But he's obviously second in the championship, so this is not ideal for him as we come straight into the pit lane, obviously, because well, with damaged front wing around here, there's just no chance really. And I sort of learnt my mistake from last season when I didn't pit after the late safety car to get this front wing changed, and we're definitely now on the 2-stop here. So we're going to go onto the medium tyres here and see how we go here. As Narms also goes onto the mediums. Obviously he started on hard, so we're going to have to do a bit of a different strategy.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
To the end of the race, but you can see there that the leaders are already down at around the turn 9, 10 area. We're just about leading through turns 2 and 3 here. So yeah, hopefully we can just keep in touch with Narms a little bit here, and yeah, we'll just wait and see. So here's a replay actually of my slow-mo. So obviously going around the outside here, Conrad, like I said, got an amazing start. Trying to leave room here, obviously running a bit wide there, but yeah, it's that pink car of, I think it's definitely Poms for the win, I would think. As I think chicane was a bit further up the road here, up there, so yeah, that wasn't ideal. So we'll have a look on board point of views here. Here's a replay from Poms' POV. You can see my teammate went absolutely nowhere off the line, like I mentioned earlier. I think he missed the revs a little bit there. You can see on Poms' screen I was lagging a little bit there, so it might just be me. I am not entirely sure. Mainly, obviously, living in a country area, maybe the internet's not as brilliant as some of these guys who are probably in more city areas. So, see, Poms goes up the inside here. We're going about 3 wide. He takes the entire line here. He just sort of maybe doesn't realise that there was another car involved there. I think that was actually Narms. So. Probably didn't realise that at the time, and originally at that point I thought Poms had actually got some sort of damage from that as well, but by the looks of things I think he's got away with it. Let's have a look on board here with Narms, who, like I mentioned, second in the championship coming into this round, but he'll lose a bit of points ground here to the leaders earlier on, although it's only round 2 of a 21 race calendar. So you can see going up the middle here of Poms, and I think to be fair, Poms I think put his hand up after the race and said that he didn't realise that there was a car in the middle there. So I think he thought it was when he was sort of, well, I don't know if you would call it turning left or whatnot, but I think he didn't realise that there was a car there, and obviously that occurred. So he put his. It's great to see the Poms put his hand up for that one, and you know, I probably was a little bit angry about that one, but you know, it's like one incident here. It's on board with always. Somehow she managed to avoid all that chaos there and gained herself a couple of spots there. But she was another one that actually started outside the top 10 in 12th, so she can have a free choice of tyres. And she's getting a little bit bump and rumble there with Conrad, as we'll cut a bit further on here. I probably did mention this in the preview chat, but she's obviously the first ever F2 Xbox One champion to make the jump up into the F1 tier for this season. So she's one to keep an eye out for this season. She's going to have a look down the inside here at Conrad down in turn 1. She just to get it to stop, but to be fair, Conrad does pretty decent. He's still got a bit of grip on those soft tyres, but probably won't be for too much longer at this point here. And I think he may have banked out of that one, or whether that's still with the few lobby issues, I am not entirely sure there. But
the DRS zone.
Yeah, back we go there. So always up into 7th, I think, at that point, and Conrad back into P8 here. But back to our point of view here as well to lap 3 here. We'll probably skip a few laps here because basically not much happened here in these next few laps, but I was just really struggling here. I mean, I did have a little bit of practice. I think it was on the Friday before this event, but other than that, I didn't really have much practice otherwise. I probably should have maybe done a little bit of the morning of the race, but yeah, that was my fault at that time. I was busy doing a few other things, but you'll see now cutting a few laps or later into lap 6. Yellow flags actually at sector 2, but it looks at things. Looks like one of the orange cars, McLarens. I think it's Masterbezerk. You see his name just popped up onto the graphic there. I think there's a bit more drama going down there. It's a turn 8. I think that is down at sector 2. So something's happened with Masterbezerk. It's dropped him all the way back down that far. Let's have a look here what happened. So we go with chicane. So obviously going the left-hand side here of Berserk and trying to go around the long way on Death Bro. Right around the long way, he has to take literally every single bit of road there. Obviously gets an illegal overtake for that one, but yeah, I think there may have been 3 wide at that point, and I don't think that really worked out at all. But I think chicane's probably got a little bit of front wing damage from that. He's on board with Berserk, so trying to go obviously the long way around, as you can see, going around the inside, and just maybe gets a little bit squeezed there, and he manages to somehow get away with that. And I think the car behind was both laggy, and always I think they were lucky to not get away with any damage here. But this was the secondary part, and that would explain what happened there. I think Kai was maybe about braked himself down there. That he did put his hand up as well after the race, because that was yeah, pretty awkward one, that one. So here's what happened with Always on board. So you can see how close I was between with her and Laggy getting close to Berserk, as she has a little bit of a look down the inside of turn 8, but not quite there. And my teammates not too far behind there as well. So I think Berserk somehow managed to get away with no damage, but trying to get onto the power early.
Gap to car in front is 7.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 31.9. We're dropping back by a second per lap.
Yeah, like I was saying, it somehow managed to get away without any damage from that, which I was very surprised about at the time, as we got a bit of an update on NARMS as we get our first time penalty of the race.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
So you can see, we would have seen or heard, we lost quite a bit of ground there to NARMS out of the pit stop there. So there's Conrad making his way out of the pit lane. He's on the medium tyres, so that would assume...
Okay, I'm not seeing any issues with tyre wear right now. You should have good grip for a while yet.
So I'd assume he's on the 2 stop if he's on the mediums, because I don't think you can take those mediums to the end unless you really stretch them as long as you dare. But now back we go here. This is the battle with Always and Laggy. So they're both getting a bit of slipstream here. Who's the car in front there? Can't really work it out as opposed to chicane, as Laggy gets a little bit locked up there. We got a bit of caught out there with chicane braking a little bit earlier than what he was expecting, but it goes Always, so she'll try and get the move done here to turn 4. She goes for a big lunge here, leave each other space, gets a little bit sideways on the power, but she's managed to do it, so nice job from her. And I think that's something to P5 from memory, or P6 or P5 anyway. But anyway, lap 9 back to our side of things. We're still dead last, no surprise there, but we're sort of just trying to keep in touch here with Conrod here, and you know, at this point in time, probably wasn't really caring at this point with the tyres, but I was hoping really to sort of stretch these tyres as long as I dare, because you probably would have seen earlier after that first pit stop there, as I ran a little bit wide there while I was trying to push on, try and get back past Conrod. But I don't have a fresh set of medium tyres, so I was tempted to maybe stretch these mediums as long as I dare and get onto maybe a fresh set of soft tyres for later in the race, as here comes the early pit stoppers, I should say. Both chicane and always dive into the pit lane. I think both Death and I think Matt were trying to get the bit of slipstream while those two were making their way into the pit lane. I think Laggy came in the previous lap, so he was trying a bit of an undercut earlier on, but whether the overcut's going to work here. But have a look here out of the pit lane. Have a look at chicane when he comes out of the pit lane, because he actually cuts across the pit lane exit line. Now, I know you only get a warning when you come out of the pit lane, but I mean, that's just a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And probably, I mean, you should learn better.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:32.7. You're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
I think chicane would probably know a bit better to maybe not cross the pit lane exit line, but hopefully he'll maybe rectify that for the next few races anyway. But let's get an update there on Conrod. Was probably mainly trying to check with penalties, but fortunately Conrod does not have a single penalty at this point, considering I've got one. But we saw there my teammate has already made his one and only pit stop, so there was a yellow flag as well around turn 12-13 section here. That was because of that Mercedes there, Death Bros. We run a little bit too deep going into turn 1 there. But he actually sputtered coming out of turns 12 and 13. Maybe something to do with the curb, because there's a deadly curb going through there through turn 12. And then he overheated his tyres later on in the race. A little bit of tight contact there between Always and Chicane. I don't know, it was a bit of a tight one, to be honest, on that one. Whether that was a bit late manoeuvre or whatnot, but somehow she didn't get any front wing damage, and she'll get the pass done and move herself up onto the podium here. She obviously covers off Chicane here, just to make sure he doesn't try and get the switch back here, but puts her on into third. I think Ryan's still leading the way, and actually Always his teammate RBR is actually in position 2 at the moment, as there's quite a big gap starting to build between those two in front. But back we go here. Lap 13, I think this is. You can see Masterbezerk here. He actually is obviously pitted for his stop, so it really wasn't going to battle too much here, because obviously he's got much fresher rubber curb head to me, but
he could still regain the position.
Yeah, but you see Berserk obviously trying to cover the inside there, but I mean, I was sort of tempted to continue the battle, but I mean, it's no point really, so I obviously backed out of it going into turn 4 and just let Berserk do his thing. But I was hoping to keep in his slipstream a little bit here, maybe help the drag myself to Conrod a little bit further on here. As you can see, Berserk's now starting to get onto the back here of Conrod. He got a little bit sideways actually coming out of the final, the penultimate couple of corners here. At lap 14, here we go. Berserk pulls out and turn 1, and he'll easily get this move done. And Conrod now relegated back to P11. Now this is sort of the battling, I think, begins here with
started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form.
Where the battle sort of begin between myself and Conrod, because even though the tyres were probably starting to wear a bit thin, you could say, later on in the stint, but we're still up for a battle and trying to get as best a position I could get. I don't think the points. I think the points are definitely out of question here, but we're going to just do some decency, try and get a recovery drive here, and just do our absolute best, and we'll move on towards the next round, which I'll touch on that one just and later on in the video. But now we're a little more closer here to Conrod. Didn't quite catch him in this bit of sector 2 there. There's a bit more lag coming down the front straight here with the DRS open here go down into the inside here into turn 1. Just brake it a bit early, make sure he doesn't get the crisscross on us. So we managed to do that on lap 15, and now we've got ourselves clear of Conrad. So that's put us up into P11. I mean, not too bad considering I put these tyres on at the end of lap 1, and we're only on lap 15. So not too bad at all. It didn't feel like the pace was too bad on these set of medium tyres, but you can see there I actually set a personal best during that sector. But yeah, I think the tyres are now probably starting to get towards their limit, I think. But that was probably me as well, just locking up the brakes.
We're coming in this lap.
As lap 16, Narms is actually coming to the pit lane, and he's actually going onto the soft tyres. Now, I thought at that point maybe he's gone onto the softs a bit too early, not like conserving the tyres like I'm sort of doing here, just to make sure, like obviously go as well late as I dare here. As you can see, I was just keeping an eye on the tyre wear as much as possible here, because like I mentioned earlier, just trying to drag these tyres as long as I dare. I think the softs.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Yeah, Jeff's obviously trying to get a new strategy option.
Copy that.
But just stretch them as long as I dare. I think the softs could probably go usually maybe 8, maybe as long as 10 laps. But you see that tyre wear really. It was really starting to get higher, as now Narm sets the fast lap of the race to the 30.2, I think, during that one. So I think he's actually just got past Conrad. So it won't be too long until lap 18.
These tyres are in a pretty dire state now. Be super careful on them. It's going to be like driving on ice in some places.
I mean, you're not wrong, Jeff. We're starting to feel a bit worse for wear here, but you can see Narms is really starting to put the pressure on here, and couldn't quite get a move done into turn 5, but it was a bit risky going up around the outside there, but obviously I broke myself going down to turn 8 and easily get the position there down into turn 8, and puts himself into the points. And if he stays where he is and keeps that fastest lap of the race, he will get the extra bonus point, which is obviously, if you haven't caught up, obviously in real life that is the deal now. If you get the fastest lap of the race, and if you in the top 10 as well, you get the extra bonus point here. But
this lap, then come into the pits at the end of this
now
lap.
we're really boxing, because at this point when I saw the triangles there like light up, I thought, nah. I was trying to get as long as probably at the end of lap 19, but we're going to pit now and get onto the soft tyres here. Maybe a bit fractionally too early, but not really too sure
Release.
with the tyre wear is around here. So onto the softs we go. Conrad obviously follows us in as well. He's gone onto the medium tyres again. So like I said, he's on the 2-stop here. So I was probably maybe a bit surprised about Conrad as well, not going onto the soft tyres, but he might not have had any fresh sets left and might have had another fresh set of medium tyres up his sleeve, so he decided to go with that one. You can see the gap already. We've pulled on Conrad even on these tyres here. So pretty much, yeah, we're just recovery drivers. A yellow flag down there at turn 10. I think that was actually for Narms there. Must have had a little bit of spin there coming through turns 9 and 10. It's lap 20. These next couple of laps are really starting to push on here, and maybe try and get maybe my fastest lap, or even the fastest lap of the race, even though I'm probably not going to get the point overall because I'm not inside the top 10. Thought may as well try something different, considering this race has just gone a bit down the drain here as we run a little bit wide through turn 10. Did actually go quicker through sector 1 there, but obviously backed out of it for the next run anyway, so for this run, even though I'm still improving my time at the current moment here. We're going to stick a board here actually and take you for a lap around the Bahrain circuit, because this was actually my fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as Narm's actually come back into the pit lane to put on another set of soft tyres, so it should be blazing towards the end of the race. Here we go into turn 1, they take that apex. Don't want to go into the power too early through turns 2 and 3, because you could easily lose the car. Trust me, when I was practicing, I lost the car quite a bit here. And turn 4 was a tricky one, because I wasn't exactly sure where to brake, and if I went too early, I risked turning in early, or if I went too late, I'd obviously go straight ahead. But now through to flying fast, and 6 and 7 there. Don't want to hit the exit curve through turn 7, otherwise that exit curve is really deadly. But that was turn 8 you just saw then. Now the slowest corner here, turns 9 and 10, which yeah, even in this game I thought it was an improvement for me. It's not the case, to be honest. So now onto this one of the back straight, one of the long back straights here. Now to turn 11 here, which is pretty much like a flowing few couple of corners through here. Now turn 12. Don't want to get too much curb. You can just touch the white line there and you can get away with it, but don't touch the curb, otherwise you'll be in trouble. Turn 13. Another tricky spot there where I wasn't probably great getting it right, but we actually set a purple middle sector time there, so definitely got some good pace in. I thought maybe I might be on here to maybe get the fast lap of the race. I think obviously Nam set a 30 point something or other. But we come across the line and we set our personal best with a 30.319. So I mean it was decent enough anyway. But yeah, I mean I wanted more, and obviously we're going to close in here as well on the other Williams.
A second lap on the car behind.
Yeah, we've obviously dropped Conrad big time here, but he's pretty much nowhere to be seen for us. So as Narbs actually sets a 29.6, so it's gone even quicker on those soft tyres. But here we go on Kaiwas. So we're easily going to get this move done. Again, a bit more lag going down to turn 1, but easily getting the move done and move up ourselves into P11. Now, probably at this point, I was just maybe hoping and wondering whether someone in front maybe had some penalties, or maybe even someone would actually spin. Well, that was probably more like Narbs that last bit, because obviously he spun out and a little bit at turns 9 and 10, but tyre wear's not too bad, so we'll get a bit of an update here on Narbs.
Gap to car in front is 4.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 2 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 29.6. They're extending their advantage by 2 seconds a lap. Okay, gap ahead is 6.0 seconds.
Okay, he's got no penalties. What about Kaiwas?
The gap behind us is 1.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:32.8.
Okay, so he's got nothing either. So basically the goal now was just to try and build the gap behind to Kaiwas. Just to have
this lap, please.
3 second barrier there, but Jeff was telling me to come into the pit lane for the last few laps here, but obviously I was having none of that, so I just pretty much just told him to shut up and just let me get on with my racing. So but anyway, lap 25 now, so we did start to pull out a bit of a gap behind to Kaiwas as well. But I think there was a bit of a moment down there at turn 1, looked like one of the pink cars. We don't jump on board here with Chicane. It was obviously still keeping in touch here with Always. This is obviously the battle for the podium, and obviously Laggy I don't think is too far behind either, so Always covers the inside down into turn 1. So he's obviously trying to do the crisscross here. There may have been a little bit of contact there between Laggy and Chicane, I think. The looks of things, whether it's a tricky one, that one, but I think that one was originally in the stewards' inquiry, but I think that was withdrawn at the last minute. But New Zealand Ryan actually just went and set the fastest lap of the race, so 29.5 I think it was now. So he was really pushing on to get that extra point for this race. At the current moment he'll get the full 26 points if he can hold on to that fastest lap of the race. You can see that obviously the tyre wear is really starting to build up, and obviously had a little moment coming through turn 7 there that could have easily binded there, and that would have easily done my race quite a bit there. But and you can see the tyre wear, yeah, it's really starting to kick in now, so it's basically just surviving now as we head on now to the last lap of the Grand Prix. So not really much happening on my point of view here. But jump aboard here with Chicane. Looks like he's a bit off track there. That's why, because he's actually got a 5 second time penalty. That is still under steward's inquiry at this point to possibly get that removed. So I think he was actually on track for maybe, what was it, P6 I think it was. I think it's actually maybe going to cost him a couple of spots there right at the end. But yeah, for us, it's a pretty dour race for us, unfortunately. So we're going to come across the line in P11. But it was a decent recovery drive. But yeah, I mean, if it hadn't have been for that little incident just at the exit of turn 4, who knows what could have been. We might have got ourselves into the top 10. But Ryan takes the victory, and also I think the fastest lap of the race. So pretty much done everything right. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. So great job from Ryan. And the two Toro Rossos actually on the podium as well. Obviously got RBR in position 2, as we'll have a look at the full race results in a second. There is the fireworks still going on in the background there in the Bahrain sky, but there's the final results on your screen. So New Zealand Ryan, a comfortable victory. Like I said, full 26 points, 17 odd seconds clear of RBR in a second, and he go back quite a fair bit to find always in P3, just ahead of Laggy Person in 4th. Poms doing a decent job in position 5. Is that Matt, my teammate, finished up in 6th. Then he got Death Bro, Chicane, Masterbezerk, and Narbs running out your top 10, and of course myself in P11, and then both the Williams cars of Conrad and I think Kaiwas. No, other way around, Kaiwas and Conrad. So there's the championship standings after the round, after this race. So Ryan extends his gap now to 27 points, I think that is, over his teammate now Laggy, who's moved up into 2nd. You can see where your favourite drivers are in the series. There we are in position 13. So yeah, that's I mean, it's early days, still another 19 odd races to go in this season. So I mean, another top 10 result in the championship would be ideal in the drivers. Constructors, a 35-point advantage between Ferrari ahead of Toro Rosso, now jump up into 2nd place after their double points finish. Good job, well, the 2nd and 3rd, I should say. Racing Point ahead of Red Bull, and then got our team Alfa Romeo in 5th ahead of Williams. McLaren, and then Mercedes and Mercedes in 7th, and then Williams, Haas, and Renault running out the top 10. So while we continue watching what was the highlights from this race, I'm going to point out now that I will be missing the next race in China, mainly because I'm actually going away on holiday. So unfortunately, I can't take part in the Chinese race. So hopefully you can stick around for that one, and you can go check out there's always going to be a live stream hopefully on the AOR YouTube channel. So yeah, be sure to go check that one out while I'm away. But if you did enjoy this race, then be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. As always, you can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2019, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. As always, all my social media links will be down in the description, plus the links to the AOR YouTube channel and the forums if you want to go sign up to whatever side, if it's Europeans or the Americas or even Oceania. All that details will be down in the description below. But I'll leave you with some of the highlights with around the Bahrain Grand Prix. So basically, next time I will be seeing you guys and girls will be at the dreaded Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So yeah, enjoy China, and until then, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.